Sa, now that the government
So good afternoon. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to present you a very interesting topic. So before I start my presentation, so let me introduce my name first. My name is Soniton. So lecturer, Department of Archaeology, Manila University. So the title of my presentation is so from God to Advisor, Ganesh, so Colonial period. So that I have divided my talks into 5 main parts. The 5 parts, that is the introduction, research question, research method. And second part is the birth of Ganesh, Ganesian attributes. And the third part is Ganesh in Myanmar history. And the fourth part is Ganesian colonial period. And final, that is the discussion and conclusion. So that's the first part of my presentation. So first one is the introduction. So Ganesh is one of the major gods and goddesses in Hinduism. He is easily recognized by the elephant head. So that he is also called Vishvara, so the controller of the obstacles. And also Gaja Nana, the elephant head. And one is also called Eka Danta. Eka, that means the one, and Danta is the teeth, Eka Danta. So the God who has only one task. So that's the research question. So that at the pavilions of the Shwedagon stupa, especially pavilion number 43 and 83, so 2 images of Ganesh made of wood were discovered. That's why the first question is, so one was Ganesh was sculpted in Linu town in pavilions of the Shwedagon stupa. And second, the Ganesh has only 2 hands like normal. That's why the second research question is, why did he has only 2 hands and he carries no attributes? So that's the research method. So that primary and secondary data first collected, and second used field works, that the photograph for record, and finally measuring the evidence. So that is the second part of my presentation. So the birth of Ganesh. So that Ganesh is the son of Shiva and goddess Parvati. So that Parvati sheltered a boy, and the boy got the hole. So the boy refused the entry of Shiva, and Shiva cut the head of the boy. So that after seeing the headless body of her son, so that Parvati said Shiva. So what she said? Oh my darling, she is my son. So at that time, so what Shiva did, so Shiva ordered his attendants to look for the head of the animals, the first one they found. So his attendant looked for the head of the animal, and they saw the elephant head. So his attendant brought back the head of the elephant, and Shiva fixed the head of elephant on the body of his son. That's why the boy became Ganesh. So that's actually, so Ganesh holds many attributes. These are the main attributes of the Ganesh. So that he has, in general, he has 4 hands. So that in one hand, so that he always holds a discus, a sweet cake, a water lily, and so that the in current position. But in ancient times, that the attributes are a little bit different from period to period. So that sometimes so that he has only one task, but sometimes you cannot see clearly in the mural painting. And then he wears a snake belt on his pot belly, and so that his vehicle is a mouse. So these are the main attributes of the Ganesh. So that is the third part of the Mayan presentation. So Ganesh in Myanmar historical period. So that the images of Ganesh can be discovered in Wetali, Pagan, Tangu, Nyaoyan, Kombao, and Colonial period. So in these long history, so the images of Ganesh, so that are made of the various material. So most of them are made of sandstone. Sometimes you can see very rare material, mica. So that's the very rare statue of the Ganesh. So the only one so far discovered in Myanmar. That's from Wetali period. So that one is made of sandstone, so 7 inches high, and so that he has 4 hands. One hand is holding a discus or a nu or a loop, and one is that's the goat, and one is that's holding sweet cake, and one hand is that's missing. But that is a very early period, so the Wetali period, 8th to 10th century AD. Some parts of that period are contemporary with the Pew period, but you cannot see no mouse. So that's the early period style. So most of the early period images of Ganesh has no vehicle. So that's the very rare. So that now that's displayed in Nauru Museum. That's the Wetali period Ganesh. So that a lot of images of the Ganesh were discovered in Pagan period also. So that in early Pagan period, so that he was a major god. So that you can see a lot of images of the Ganesh in Pagan archaeological museum. So that most of them are sandstone, plaster, bronze, and mica. So that's the Pagan Archaeological Museum, Ganesh. So that's the height is 6 inches. This one also, so 4 hands, but most of the attributes in the hands are very worn, so that you cannot see clearly. But that's one hand that is holding his tax, or maybe that is a sweet cake. But here you cannot see his vehicle, Ganesh. But most of the Ganesh in Pagan period are all Bhumifata Mudra. The right hand is touching the ground. So that's the very rare specimen of the Ganesh made of mica. So that can be seen only in Myanmar. So it has 4 hands. Here you can see only 1 hand. Here 1 hand, but the lower part is broken, so we cannot see clearly. So that's one also made of sandstone. So that's 4 hands, but most of them are, we cannot see clearly. So it is a bit hard to tell what attributes is he holding. So that's the very good specimen sandstone. So that Ganesh, that you can see 4 hands. So one is that's holding sconge. So the one is holding here, but you cannot see clearly. So that's his hand is on the pot belly, and the right hand that is touching on the ground. But instead of the touching, his right hand is on the left. So you can see that is the vehicle of the Ganesh. That's the red right there. So that in lower Pagan period, let's say it's a late Pagan period, so that the position of Ganesh, first he was a major god, and late Pagan period, his pictures were drawn on the wall of the niches. So that means he, at the time, he was not a major god. So he became one of the guardian for Buddhist temple. So these pictures were drawn on the wall of the Shwedagon temple vestibule. So the lower part of the vestibule, not the higher part. So that's the vestibule here. So you can see Ganesh, but his vehicle right here is not a mouse, that is the lion. So that picture also very rare in Myanmar. So the only two pictures were discovered in Pagoda period. One is this one, also Buddha, so riding on the vehicle lion. So but these pictures were drawn on the lower parts of the vestibule. So that at the time in late Pagoda period, he was not a major god. So that, let's say, in frankly speaking, he was a little bit relegated from god to guardian, something like that. So that is the Ganesh and Tanghu period. This one is very small. So actually at the plane of the Buddha, so that's the small Buddha image that is about 1 feet high. At the base of the plane, so you can see the images of Ganesh. So this one is that a little bit important because there is a writing for that image. So that was actually that's made in Tanghu period. So it will be coincided with the Vietnam, so who made bell at the time, it might be. That is the Tanghu period Ganesh. He has only one hand, that this one also. So that's holding a dantiya. So that's the Tanghu period Ganesh. So that's the Ganesh in Nyaoyam period. So you can see two images of Ganesh. So the big one and the lower one. So these two have all so holding his normal attributes. One is the right hand, that is the holding discus, and that here, so you can see that is the gold. And so that's actually his vehicle mount is right here, but now you cannot see clearly because so that's they were wrapped by the white clothes. So that this one also two images of Ganesh. This one is the attribute is a little bit different. Right here is holding a loop, so instead of the discus. So these two figures, so that's made of alabaster or marble. So that these are also very rare in Nyaoyam period. So that you can see Shwedagon stupa, northwest corner of the Shwedagon stupa in inward. So you can still see today. But now, so you can see the house for two gods. So that's the houses. The house were built in. The house was built in 10 years ago. If you go now, so you can see like that position. That is the Ganesian Nyaoyam period. So that's the next one is the Ganesian Kongbao period. So that in Kongbao period, so that the images of Ganesh were very rare, but in painting, so we can see his painting like that. So that he has four hands. One is holding a goat, that's a discus. One is holding his tusk, so he has only one tusk, and one is holding his trunk, and his vehicle mouse. So that's the Ganesh and Colonial period. So that's the third part of the mind presentation. So let's move on the fourth part of the mind presentation. So Ganesh and Colonial period. So Lino Town, Pavilion number 33, Shwedagon Stupa. So that is the Lino Town of the Pavilion number 43 here. So you can see the scene. That is the Buddha. So see the Buddha. One is here. That is the Maya on the elephant with 6 hands. These are the troops of Maya, and one of them is Ganesh. So is it Ganesh or not? The right arm, that is amazing. So that wood, so 5 inches. The elephant head, the support belly. So he is wearing the dhoti like Indian. So that's the colonial period Ganesh. And this one is the pavilion number 83. So that you can see the Lindu town. So there are 5 Lindu towns in that pavilion number 83. So that this one is the main scene. You can also see Lindu town 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that this building also built or donated by Dornan line in colonial period. So that is the scene is the same. You can see Buddha. Here is the Mara and his troop. So left side, right side like that. Here you can see a lot of standing figures. One is the Vatondari, that is here, and this one is the Ganesh. So especially that is very small statue. The height is only 13 inches, but he has only 2 hands, not 4 hands like God Ganesh. And then you can still see that's the elephant head, and his right hand, so left hand, so that's pointing to the Buddha. So that he is wearing dhoti, and then that the pork belly is right here. So that wearing the dhoti like an Indian. So that, and you cannot see the mouth. So especially one of the attributes of the Ganesh. So these 2 Ganeshas were from colonial period. So that discussion. So that the images of the Ganesh were first discovered in Wudali in late period. So that began, so that Tanggu, Nyaoyan, Khomba, and even in colonial period, the images of Ganesh were discovered. So the first in early Bagan period, he was a major god. In late Bagan period, so that he was a guardian. So in Tanggu period, his images were sculpted at the print of the Buddha image with other images. So that in Nyaoyan period, so the festival of the Ganesh were held in Nadola in November, so grand. And then in Khomang period, that the tradition of the paying respect to Ganesh was performed in grand scale. That is in Khomang period. So in colonial period, his image were sculpted in Buddhist religious edifices, although he was not a god and advisor. So finally, that is the conclusion. So the finding of the images of Ganesh as an advisor at Lindu town and pavilion of the Shwedagon Stupa point out that the popularity of the Ganesian Buddhist society became faded in colonial days. And finally, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please.
My first question, why do we call Ganesh Pavilion? Why do we call Pavilion? To my knowledge, it is connected with the Indian festival story. As you know, Indian festival. The Jubilee god of Pagoda, he will come down to us, writing in kind of particular. And sometimes he has the entrance. Then the entrance is cut off, and it is thrown into the water will dry up. It is thrown to the earth will burn. Therefore, infant should be kept by 7 quarters of the 7 years. Then the body should spiritual living body. So because of the elephant in Mahapinga, and then Mahapinga elephant is fixed to the body, and that going to be Mahapinga body. This is true. So it's quite right in the in Talon we used to hold the door as the first level of the country. And in addition to our local sites, Mahapinga was Puja, festival of Mahapinga festival, made by kings. The real image of the statue of Mahapinga made, and ceremonial Puja. 7 times the images on the field go around the face. Then a second place where there is a special Pagoda, Mahapinga Pagoda. There is down. So these are fully recorded. So I want to, even today, Mahapinga is down there in Jago. Jago Machine, I hope the name of the street. Maria Mahapinga but now there is the Nyamba Buddha image. So together, Buddha Swedagon. This is the condition. So this Mahapinga is we believe in God. But other things don't pay respect to Mahapinga. These are the questions. So what Mahapinga is God, what Mahapinga became a real God or goddess and celebrated in the month of October. Thank you. You get my question? Why Mahapinga?
No. Yes, sir.
And why Mahapinga became a real festival in Kingdom of the Joy?
So the first question, so that's the Mahapinga, so that's the Chinese said the Mahapinga, so that is the especially that there are a lot of variant stories for the name Mahapinga. One is the head, especially the elephant, name of the Mahapinga, so his head was cut off and fixed on the body. Yeah, so Brahma's body. So that's one that from Mahapinga, and that's little bit changed to Mahawinga. After that, Mahapinga. So that is the from that Mahawinga to Mahapinga. So that is another one variant is the Mahawina Raka. So from that attribute, so that Mahawina Raka, and then that's a little bit changed to Mahapinga. So that's both two sayings that from my point of view, I think that we should do new research for that name. That is my first answer.
Okay. Marcia, you are mentioning about the Ganesh Mahapinga. I think you especially emphasize to the Pavilion number 43.
Yes.
And
83.
83.
Yeah.
Your suggest to public, your set to public. This is Ganesh. Ganesh, you agree?
So that's why I said that I asked the open question. So that figure is Ganesh or not. But that is my research point. So that's he is a god Ganesh, but that's from the historical point of view, from Tangu period and till colonial period. So that
you mentioned a long time, two periods to colonial period. I see. But I think you show this pavilion number 43 and number 83, the surely the Ganesh.
yes.
Tell me what.